Hi, welcome to Universal Interiors. I'm Les Engelstead, and with me and my guest is Mary Lee Linden, and we are sharing the second part of a story about her precious son, Troy, who served in Iraq in 2006. We lost him in the service, and we are just going to find a little bit more about this heart of this young man and his family and things that our community have done to celebrate and continue to do to celebrate. So as we were talking last, I now know that he was in Iraq and you were bringing him home, but you were having a celebration, right? You were saying.
Yep, we had a welcome home when he had been in Iraq for 6 months, because I figured anybody that had been over there for 6 months needed his family all around him. And so we totally surprised him. We held it at the Lincoln, the old Lincoln School.
Sure. Oh, great.
And it was a wonderful turnout, and now I'm glad that we did do it, because then that was in April, and 3-4 months later we lost him. So
what a blessing that was. Amazing to be able to have had that time and surrounding him and just to love on him like that before you had to, well, of course you didn't know what would happen and the outcome of that. So that whole time period was probably a little bit, I can't begin to step in that, the pain and the hurt in that. It was a July?
Yeah, July
8th, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep, this year it'll be 10 years. Yep. And we're opening it up to the whole community to come out to our place. We're going to do it 10-year celebration of his life, and do the lanterns up in the sky, and
how wonderful. Now we visited a little bit about the parade, the Water Carnival parade.
Yep.
And you were saying that he was in that?
Yep, when he was 5 years old, the junior Miss Northwest.
Okay.
And yeah, so we entered him in it, and I wasn't sure how he would do, but Troy was really, he could visit with the little kids right up to Grandpa and Grandma's. You know, he just got along. Yep. And so he got up there, and at the time it was Mayor Buboltz.
Okay.
And he was interviewing Troy, and he would ask each of the kids, you know, what's your trick or whatever? And Troy said, it's whistling. Yeah, I can whistle. And he said, would you like to show everybody? And so, of course, he's nervous, so he's licking his lips and going, and then he gets nervous, and then he's rubbing his head, and we have it all on video, and it really is just so cute. And then about the third or fourth time, he finally got a little bit. It was just enough for the crowd to, yay!
Oh, very special, very special. And I understand you parade right down the street and celebrate him every year in Water Carnival.
Every year, yep. We bring any kids that want to come, and they'll wear Troy Boy shirts and throw out candy, and we had a banner made of him as the junior Northwest King.
Oh, you did?
And we hang that on the back of the wagon.
Okay.
And Abby Noah was the queen.
Okay.
So
oh, very cool. Well, you did share with me too how you said your son, how you watched him just transform into this young man, like he was just built for this position.
Yes.
And I found that just amazing, you know, all that he kind of worked through and got through, and all of a sudden he just took it. And I can see it, actually, when I just stopped at the Detroit Lakes High School today, I was there and looked at this beautiful area that we have in celebrating Troy. But the pictures of him, but as he's dressed, he just carried such a sense of, this is where I belong. That's how I was going to tell you that. I just thought that was pretty incredible.
And it was, you know, so when school is so hard and kids are so misdirected, or, you know, they take the wrong path or whatever, it does take a toll on them. And, you know, as parents, you can love them and hug them and guide them as much as you possibly can. Sometimes that isn't enough. Right. So I am grateful for the school and the community and people that supported him and kept encouraging him. And I think that did lead to, when he got to Montana and he was a telemarketer, I think he wanted more. He wanted more out of what he could be. And it sent him to the Army. And it was kind of funny. My dad was in the Army in the Korean War.
Is that right?
And when he found out that Troy joined the Army, my dad said, "Oh, good grief, why did you join the Army? You should have done the Air Force.
Oh.
Then you can stay in a nice hotel. Now you're going to be on the wet, damp ground and intense."
Oh.
But that's what Troy loved. He loved the outdoors.
Yeah, that's what you were, alluding to earlier. That's another part. Our lives just get so where we can't understand the way it gets played out sometimes, and yeah, listening to you about your son, it's like, it's amazing all the good that's already come out of it.
Yeah.
Like some of the things I'd love for you to share, if you could, about how you have gotten other moms involved in a calendar that was.
Yes.
If you'd like to share that.
Yep. The every year the Tribute to the Troops, and the oh gosh, I can't think of the other. They're a group of motorcycle riders that protect parents of the service. And of course, I never knew any of this when this happened to Troy, but there's protesters that are against the war. And those people on the motorcycles came and surrounded us with their love and support to keep the protesters away. But every year they have a benefit and honor our boys and girls, men and women, and so it's a great comfort to have them. And from that, there's also parents that's healing for them, and so there's scoops for the troops in Eagan, Minnesota.
Okay.
And
yeah, actually I did hear about that.
Yeah, yep. And they raise money, and then the money goes back to tribute to the troops who make the awareness, And
Perfect.
this year was
Sounds smart.
amazing because they've gotten the VA involved in helping our post-traumatic stress syndrome soldiers.
Perfect, Mary.
And they really do need our help.
Oh my goodness, I can't begin to understand again what happens. This little book that we were reading in one of the English classes that I para for is called All Quiet in the Western Front, and it's an old book. But in that it hears from this young soldier and what he's doing, and he's like, how are we supposed to be? Here we are grown up so fast. And that's what gets me so boggly and confused when people come at parents or the people that have served their time. They're already going through so much. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, for the awareness to be lifted and to be raised up, I'm so grateful our community is wise enough. And also at this time that there was 4 children within a span that was lost.
Yes, yep.
So that's amazing story for our community to hear that there's some strength behind it. I'm really, really grateful.
Yep.
I am. I'm just so honored that you took the time here with us. And if you'd like another little quick minute to share another something that's on your heart.
Well, amongst all the people that I'm grateful for, another close to home, family members and friends. We have many namesakes of Troy.
Oh.
My niece named her son Mason Troy, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Troy's battle buddy, his name was Sinew Montoya, and that's actually a sad story, but I hold on to Sinew and his family because him and Troy were visiting, and Sinew had said, "You look tired, man," and Troy had told him, and Sinew, of course, told us the story. He said, "I'll go put in a request. I'll take this shift. You've been on too many shifts."
Goodness.
Well, the red tape, or I don't know what happened, but he didn't take Troy's shift, and that was the night that Troy was killed. And so Sinew has to live with that.
Of course.
And we love him dearly, and we don't wish anything against him.
No,
And
that's the place of trusting and turning out
I know
those questions that
there's
may
a
never get
reason
answered.
beyond our
and
control.
That's what I remember you telling me.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks for sharing your heart.
Thank you.
We celebrate him. Thanks again for joining today.